ladies and gentlemen, it is the immediate reaction to this Sunday's Philadelphia Eagles game in Philadelphia against the Miami Dolphins, the 2019 loss. Quite frankly, watching this game, if you ask me, was like getting your teeth pulled. I mean, just in general, this entire, for the most part, this entire season, every game is like, watching it is just like it's just like pulling teeth, really. The Eagles, in this game, they finally get up off the schneid early on in this game. Everything's looking great in the first quarter. They pick up they get a safety early in the game, and it just looks like the Dolphins, for the most part, are looking like a disaster coming here. I'm thinking, first quarter, game's over. Eagles got this in hand. They're going to run the ball down their throats all day here when the Eagles are facing, I believe the Dolphins were 31st against the run on defense heading into this game. And the Eagles on the ground between DeMarco Murray and Ryan Matthews. Well, between those two, 30 total, about 80 yards. Murray with a 2.8 average, Ryan Matthews with a 2.2 average. Ryan Matthews knocked out of the game with a concussion. And Sproles didn't have a good day on the ground, whatever carries he had. And DeMarco Murray, it seemed like he got out of the gate pretty well here, just like the Eagles' offense did in general. Everything's looking like cake here. Brent Selleck early in this game, on fire. Couple big receptions to get him near the 10. And yet, there was even a nice play with Sam Bradford. And just Sam Bradford in general in this game was pretty sharp. And incrementally the last few games, it's like he's been improving. He was 19 for 25, 236 yards. And that he found Josh Huff early in the first quarter in the back of the end zone. He made a nice play out of the pocket. Not the kind of play you typically see out of Sam Bradford, but he extended the play towards the right sidelines. And he scans the end zone. He finds Josh Huff. And the Eagles are looking rock steady. They get up 16-3 in this game. And it's looking like a cakewalk at Lincoln Financial Field. It really is. The offensive line was seemingly holding up. And the first quarter, couldn't ask for a much better first quarter. And it's amazing. That's one of the things we've been saying all season so far. They can't come out of the gate strong. Every game. They were minus 30 throughout the season in first quarter point differential. And in this game, they get up 16-3. Rather quickly. And what's even, again, you have a for all intents and purposes, a crap Dolphins team that was rattled early on here. Just like that. Tannehill was getting banged around. That Walter Thurman sack fumble in the end zone that essentially caused the safety. Just watching that, Tannehill right into the back. It's, give him credit, it's amazing he survives. But, I'm thinking, after that, the Eagles got this in the bag. For once, they come out in the first quarter strong, and it looked like, for the most part, it was going to be smooth sailing. apparently, I was wrong. And apparently, second quarter, third quarter, and in the fourth quarter, regardless of who was out there playing quarterback, regardless who was out there running the football, for the most part, and regardless who was out there catching passes in the slot, and I say in the slot because this team has crap at wide receivers. I mean, we'll just to say the least. I mean, it's not a breaking news statement or anything. It's not a news flash. It's absolute crap that they have at wide receiver. Now, I guess Nelson Aguilar, he's coming off of injury. He's a bit limited. Miles Austin, Riley Cooper, I mean, again, you're turning to these guys. Well, Riley Cooper he was barely even out there. As a matter of fact, we'll get to that later on. Need to take a pause quick before, try to get through the chronology of this game. The second quarter, again, first quarter, it's looking like, it's going to be a cakewalk. Another day at Lincoln Financial Field, another easy win at home. Defense coming out pretty strong, getting that safety. And I think Tannehill has continued to be overvalued. And just the Dolphins in general. I mean, people say, it seems like every year, people say, the Dolphins are going to be good. Hey, they might give the Patriots a run for their money, who knows?
No.
Give me a break. As a matter of fact, they beat they're at the bottom of that division, and so, little brother of that AFC East division that goes through New England week in and week out, year in and year out. So, I mean, again, against a bad team that I thought the Eagles were going to be able to handle, this game became one of these games where it was like pulling teeth. Things start to get sloppy. Second quarter. Offensive line having some issues. Sam Bradford not mobile enough to compensate for the said offensive line issues. Having a good day, no question. Having a sharp day. But, again, Chip Kelly has regressed as a play caller. I mean, it amazes me how often it seems this year, and it can't just be on Sam Bradford, but just in general on third downs, not throwing beyond the sticks. And it just blows my mind how frequently, third and long, and they, get in these stupid smoke screen passes that, maybe they get a couple, at best they get a few yards, it seems, but it's not the play for third and long. And it just boggles my mind so much this season. It's just like a lack of common sense. So the Eagles' second, third quarter, they let this Miami team hang around. A bad Miami team. Of course, there's a missed field goal, a chip shot, Caleb Sturgis, unfortunately. But again, unfortunately, the Eagles, the rest of the game pretty much offensively, I mean, for the most part, took a dump. matters aren't made any better, of course, when the Eagles get a punt blocked that it's like just a complete breakdown. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have to think that Donnie Jones saw what was coming, but I mean, geez. Awful protection on the punt. I mean, the offensive line has enough issues, but I mean, geez. In this case, give up that punt block that gave the Miami Dolphins great field position that turned into a touchdown. Unfortunately for the Eagles, and again, I mean, it's just they shoot themselves in the foot too much in this game. That's the bottom line. And with, again, silly play calls, just second and third quarter, I mean, just shooting themselves in the foot. So, end of the second quarter. This comes off as, I mean, there's like 20 seconds left on the clock. And geez, I mean, at this point, you got normal field position, I guess you could say, and 20 seconds. And I guess for whatever reason, instead of, after a lackluster second half or second quarter on offense, after a solid first quarter, and then a lackluster second quarter, you got like 20 seconds left on the clock or whatever. Maybe, all right, take the knee, head to the locker room, maybe regroup a little bit for halftime. No.
We're from Philadelphia and we fight.
Well, I guess Chip Kelly decided, no, we're gonna try. We're gonna try to run some plays here. And what? Okay, this is where fight an unnecessary battle here. But all right, you're gonna try to, I guess, get into field goal range, or I guess somehow. I mean, hey, try to get any play you can. I mean, obviously try to, if you can, I mean, get to the end zone or whatever, but at least, hey, I mean, maybe get in the field goal range. You got 20 seconds left or so on the clock. And instead, when you have that much time, maybe you want to think of, some deep passing plays, perhaps. Well, no. First of all, they should have taken the knee to begin with. Number one. Number two, Bradford got destroyed on the first play they run, and had there not been a penalty or whatever, I mean, right, just like that, the Dolphins would have been in field goal range had the Eagles not benefited from, roughing the passer. Which, I mean, I gotta be honest with you, I don't even think that was a roughing the passer penalty. But nevertheless, it was. And the Eagles, they get a break there. So that's that's like problem number one. You almost get Bradford destroyed, and almost give Dolphins at least position for a field goal. But even maybe a time to run a play or two, maybe go to the end zone. I mean, who knows? And then again, it's silly play calling. You got, you're not in the opposing team's territory, and you're doing these little, smoke screen passes or whatever that aren't really picking up anything. Meanwhile, you got 20 seconds left on the clock, and then down to 15 or whatever, and then down to 10 seconds. It's like, what are you doing? You may as well just taken a knee instead of like running these plays and again almost turning the ball over. Almost even getting Bradford wrecked. But, fortunately, he didn't get wrecked at the end of that second quarter. He got wrecked in the third quarter. All right? I guess, So, obviously, that's, the number one concern coming out of this game. I mean, as far as injuries go, obviously, the Eagles were missing Jordan Hicks this week. Jordan Hicks, unfortunately, on the IR this season. Hey, I mean, he had a good rookie season thus far. I mean, kind of being the defensive captain in a sense in recent weeks when D'Amico Ryans went down. So, I mean, he rose up to the occasion, but unfortunately out for the rest of the season. And he'll be missed, obviously, the torn pectoral. Now, this game, Sam Bradford, the shoulder injury, as of now, he was x-rayed late, after heading to the locker room. X-rays were negative. And at the time, I guess his return was questionable. But then Bradford supposedly suffered a concussion and had to go through the protocol. So, unfortunately, he wasn't going to return the rest of the game. And essentially, we had Mark Sanchez making his return. And I guess that kind of brings us to the latter part of the game. Again, second and third quarter, it's just like this Eagles team has been shooting themselves in the foot way too much. And they let this bad Miami Dolphins team hang in there. There was, as far as defense goes, there's the one play, one touchdown, where Connor Barwin, I believe, bats the ball. He had a pretty good game. He was getting in there and getting pressure, getting in Tannehill's face, batting a few balls. He's athletic. And unfortunately, Eagles get caught with their pants down on that play. I believe it was Malcolm Jenkins. Didn't even know. I guess he didn't even know the ball was in the air. But there's just, it's like there's a couple other defenders there, and it's like, go and get the ball. It was like a punt. It was a jump ball. And amazingly, and I say amazingly in an unfortunate fashion, no, Jarvis Landry for the Dolphins, I believe, comes down with it for a touchdown. And again, this like goes back to last week when there was that Hail Mary. Granted, the Eagles, they beat the Cowboys in overtime, but it was like that. A jump ball. Go in and at least get a hand in there. Geez. You could have timed the amount of time the ball was in the air there. You could have timed with a calendar, it seemed. But nevertheless, the Dolphins, they get up in this game. And the Eagles, the Eagles get a field goal as they head, fourth quarter. But, again, you were having nothing in the second and third quarter. Not a whole lot. Bradford was making some nice throws this game. It looked like Bradford was on pace to have his best game. But again, a little disappointed with the running game here. Whether, Murray was looking pretty good. Murray was good in the passing game, certainly. And, he had as many yards receiving as he did, I mean, out of the backfield than that he did rushing. But I mean, again, there's a chance for Miles Austin to come down with one in the end zone, but he doesn't drag the foot out of bounds. I mean, it's a shame, but one point Jordan Matthews gets the wind knocked out of him, but he came back in the game. And again, it's just like it was watching. It was like pulling teeth watching this game from the second quarter on. Mark Sanchez comes out of the gate a little strong. I mean, a couple plays where it's like maybe his feet are in the right place or whatever. DeMarco Murray tripping over him on one play. I mean, and then just like, especially with DeMarco, it's a little out of sync here. There's a wheel route where I think, I got to think that the idea was to wait until Murray has the man beat a little more down the field and lead him on. And instead he hits DeMarco Murray in the back with the ball. I mean, there's that, and then it looked like they're trying to run some read option plays with Mark Sanchez. And at times it's like I feel like Sanchez was making some of the wrong reads. Like sometimes, like he gave the ball to Murray, and he should have kept it himself. And then there's like other times, like it's like he's going to give, like he had it in, I guess, Murray's, stomach area or whatever, receiving it for like 2 seconds, and then, no, I'm going to run it, and then, no, that probably wasn't the right decision. The offense, I mean, it seemed more up-tempo, without question. Unfortunately, the one Riley Cooper sighting this game, ladies and gentlemen. Remember last week it was, I guess he was hurt or something, and they showed him walking up the field in his newly cut short hair.
Cut the freaking thing, will you?
Apparently he did. And then the one Riley Cooper sighting this week is the Eagles, an illegal shift. He doesn't get set quick enough or whatever. Maybe, the ball was snapped too soon, or I don't know. But the one Riley Cooper, the one Riley Cooper sighting was that this week, because he's not catching it. He's not catching any passes. No. And surely enough, shortly thereafter, it's good old Mark Sanchez at his, well, I wouldn't call it finest. But what happens? He throws an interception into the end zone with a golden opportunity for the Eagles to take the lead. And it's looking like Mr. Old Butt Fumble himself, turning the ball over. I mean, now, I feel like Miles Austin maybe could have wanted the ball a little more in that case. It looked like one of those things where the defender was all over, the safety was all over it for the Dolphins, and it's like he wanted the ball more than Miles Austin did. And there you go. Crucial turnover at the worst time possible. Unbelievable. Well, the Eagles defense, they force a 3-and-out. How's that for you, offense? You get another shot. And now, Eagles offense, they, a couple first downs, they don't get into field goal range. Utter disappointment yet again.
I'm not dealing with this today.
So, again, I believe the Eagles get another opportunity. The Eagles defense, After the 2-minute warning, get Ryan Tannehill for a loss, and Eagles get another shot at it. They get another crack at it. And Eagles come up shy yet again. The offensive line, problems. Sanchez, that last throw on the fourth down play, not enough time. He kind of just has to get rid of it. And again, a couple more out of sync situations here between him and DeMarco Murray. And it's just, again, it's unfortunate. But the bottom line is, second and third quarter, the bottom line is, they didn't have to be in this position in the first place. But they let this Dolphins team hang around, and they shot themselves in the foot. I'm getting sick and tired of the whole, it's every game. The announcers having to say, the Eagles, they got to avoid these self-inflicted wounds, and it's like, it's too bad. They just don't. They don't. They're just self-inflicted wounds. It's every week, it seems. And it's just, a lot of times it's just a matter of whether they're going to cost them, whether they cost them or not. That's the bottom line. Whether they cost them against mediocre or bad teams, like it almost did against the Cowboys last week, and like it did against the Dolphins this week. And a golden opportunity for the Philadelphia Eagles to put together perhaps a nice little win streak here against these mediocre or bad teams before they have to play the New England Patriots in Foxborough, before they have to host the Buffalo Bills, who are looking pretty good at this point in the season. We'll see how they look then, but they're above 500 right now as of this episode of the Tyler Werner Show. And the Arizona Cardinals after that. Well, they got 3 tough games. And then they got the Redskins and the Giants to close out the season. Giants in revenge. So, this 4-game run here it's been a golden opportunity for them to essentially go on a mini run here and perhaps find themselves at 7-4. But now that's, because they got the Buccaneers next week, who they better beat, who could barely do anything against the Dallas Cowboys. And the Dallas Cowboys, they just struggled. Ridiculous. They're done. Last week, that was it for them. That was like last gas against the Philadelphia Eagles. But this week, again, golden opportunity for the Philadelphia Eagles to pick up a win against a bad team. And then next week as well. And I don't care whether it's Bradford out there or Sanchez. They too much shooting themselves in the foot. And especially Chip Kelly's a play caller. Above all. Not to mention, they got the Detroit Lions on Thanksgiving, who, I guess, somehow managed to beat the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field.
Oh, man!
Who'd have thunk that? But, Packers losing 3 straight. Again, who'd have thunk that?
5 letters here.
Yeah, maybe Aaron Rodgers is going to come out and say that again. The Packers lose 3 straight, but lose this one against the Detroit Lions. But anyhow, nevertheless, it should be another win for the Philadelphia Eagles. But now every week it's like, again, is this team going to be pulling our chain in that game too? Against that, these other crap teams? I don't know. We'll see, I guess. Again, golden opportunity for this Eagles team. Now they find themselves tied with the Redskins, who, by the way, beat the Eagles earlier this season as well. And, I mean, again, the Giants, I mean, they're playing New England right now as I speak. Which I would think would be a New England win. I mean, people say, those two Super Bowl,
To me, those balls are perfect.
Yeah, and to me, I gotta think the Patriots are gonna win that anyhow. But still, again, regardless, the Giants still are essentially ahead in the division, regardless of what they do this week. Whereas the Eagles, they have another chance to go above 500, another chance to leapfrog past the Giants, in a sense, provided the Giants lose. But again, the Eagles fail again, and it just boggles my mind. This Eagles team is a disappointment. They're too inconsistent, too many self-inflicted wounds, and not to mention they don't have it at wide receiver, and that's a shame. Because quite frankly, they could have maybe used someone who's going to be able to drag that left foot, or what, I don't know, maybe it was the right foot, whatever, that second foot that Miles Austin wasn't able to do. A good receiver does that. But then again, the Eagles don't have good receivers. They got Riley Cooper out there. I mean, I sit here and say it every week, and even when they win too, that's the sad thing. When they lose, I mean, it's like when they lose, I'm saying how they don't have any wide receivers, and even when they win, I'm kind of saying how like it almost cost them the game against a bad team because that they don't have any wide receivers.
That's exactly right.
But it's just a shame. I feel bad for Bradford. Not just because he got hurt in the offensive line. I mean, he's not mobile. He's injury prone. I get that, but more so that he doesn't really have anyone to throw to. Aguilar, again, coming off of injury, rookie season, who knows? But again, Cooper, Miles Austin, really Chip Kelly. Cooper's still on this roster. It's still out there, not catching passes or anything really at all. Not really producing, but still out there. I don't know. That's the immediate reaction to this 20-19 loss for the Philadelphia Eagles. Again, like pulling teeth. It's the Tyler Werner Show. Thanks for tuning in. Facebook.com/Tyler Werner Show. Stay tuned for the next video right here in the Facebook page and the YouTube channel, as always.
What is it about good sex that makes me have to crap? Guess it's all that pumping. Pump and dump.
Pump and dump. Never stop the pumping. Always keep her satisfied. Pump and dump.
You really jarred something loose, Tiger.
Number one box office attraction, number one WWE superstar, multi-time WWE champion, Brock Lesnar.
Time to revamp your office space, eh? Looking for an interior decorator? Look no further than Brock Lesnar.
Now that's the way a real man uses a sledgehammer.
Out with the old, in with the new. Give Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman a call.
Mr. Lesnar, you're the future of interior decorator. I think we're done.
Hi there, I'm Hank Hill. Well, I'd like to tell you what Strickland can do to meet your energy needs. You see, at Strickland, the customer comes first. It's kind of interesting. The word customer begins with CU. Well, we don't see you as just another sale, but as a member of our team. I thought you might enjoy 7.5 gallons of pure premium propane. Strickland Propane, the customer comes first.